Well, now today is by way of being a bit of a test ride. I've done something that I've been threatening to do for a long time, and that is fit a final drive chain tensioner. And as is usually the way with me, there is an official made for the Bonneville range of bikes chain tensioner out there. That's a Free Spirits one, which looks a lot like this. And there's a couple of things about it I'm not so keen on. Well, there's actually three things that I'm not too keen on with that particular chain tensioner. One is it's got an exposed spring on it, just where it's going to catch all the debris and muck and everything off the road. The other thing is, which is quite easy to overcome, is the actual tensioner wheel is a sprocket. Now if the bearings were to let go in that and it were to seize up, your chain's going to be riding over a sprocket. Now it's a plastic sprocket, I believe, so it wouldn't be a hugely big deal, but it wouldn't be great either. And then the third issue I've got with it is the price of the damn thing. It's in excess of 200, it's over £200, and there really isn't that much to it. So there are three good reasons to my mind why not to go for that particular chain tensioner. So as is quite often the case with myself, I do like to develop my own take on numerous modifications, and I've done so with the chain tensioner. Now I spent less than £10 on a universal chain tensioner. This one, and didn't have to do a huge amount of fiddling and fettling to get it to fit on the bike. Now this has got all the advantages that the other style has disadvantages. So I don't have an exposed spring. I don't have a sprocket to get in my way, and it didn't cost an arm and a leg to buy. So here's what I'm doing. Now you can see there, that's spring loaded, and it rides on a wheel with bearings inserted in there, and it bolts to existing holes and bracketry and stuff on the frame. So that, I guess that's my prototype. I mean, that might get altered. I did want to see whether it's going to run and work, which for the first few miles it is doing. Now the reason I've done this, and have been threatening to do for an awful long time, is one of the disadvantages of extending your rear shocks is you alter the chain run. You have to run with more slack. I've got a bit more travel and I'm at a slightly different angle. Fortunately, I won't have the same issues when it comes to extending the forks in length, which is going to be happening fairly soon as well. All the brake lines and ABS cables and the like have actually got enough slack in them that they can withstand an extra bit of fork length. I already checked that before I committed to doing it, which, like I say, will be happening as soon as. Of course, when you're riding the bike, you don't notice. I didn't mention before the other advantage of having just a circular rotating guide like I've got on this chain tensioner is if the bearings did let go and it's seized up, the chain's just going to run over that rubber wheel and wear a flat spot on it. Rather than rattling its way over a sprocket. But we'll see. I'm going to pop to Dragon Soul. I'm going to have a hot drink. It's not particularly cold today, but I'll have a hot drink there. And it's a weekend, so I'll say hello. I'll catch up with anyone that happens to be there. There's usually a handful of people there that I know. And right back again, and we'll just double check that everything's all good. Has happened. Well, that's one modification that I've been threatening to do for a long time. Well, ever since I extended the rear shocks, to be honest. Have enough fuel and my lights just come on. Still, Dragon Soul's right next to join to part of the petrol station, so I'll put some fuel in when I get there. I've not been riding the bike quite so much just lately. Work's been getting in the way. And if work hasn't been getting in the way, we have had some pretty foul weather as well. That can get in the way sometimes. So I'm kind of making films. Well, a couple of weeks ago I gave you an old one out the film library. But yeah, I'm kind of making him last minute if I'm doing something, so forgive me if I don't get them out every week like I have been doing. That might not be happening all through the winter, but I may well stop just putting things up every week just for the sake of it. Try and keep the interest there. So with a bit of luck, when you actually see this film on Sunday evening, I'm actually filming this about 28 hours beforehand. It's Saturday afternoon. So it's fairly current and fairly up to date. Well, about as up to date as you ever get them from me. So yeah, a couple of weeks work coming up and I'm going to be all over the place. That is likely going to get in the way of filming. And then that should be the end of the intense working. For this year anyway. Here I am in the edge of Newport. That's Newport, Shropshire. That drain cover is in the worst place it could possibly be in. Not too bad today because it's dry. Right, I'm here. Let's get some fuel in this thing.